They both weighed just under 2 pounds, 114, 115. And I mean, that's truly the roller coaster ride starts. It's a one step forward, two step back kind of thing when you're in the NICU. And they tell you that. I mean, you know going in that it's not going to be this smooth ride and you're going to take your babies home right away. There's, I mean, so many issues that come up, different things that they're watching for. For Aiden, he started out doing great. I mean, they were so happy with how he was doing, they took him off the ventilator. It was the second day of his birth. He developed a brain bleed, and we were told afterwards that it was the best of the worst, a grade 4 bleed, but the best case scenario because it was on the side of his brain that controls motor functions. And so there is where Aiden's road started. I mean, he has cerebral palsy, and it all was caused by the brain bleed. Everything seemed to happen to Aiden first. Like if there was, his fever was going to spike, you know, for some reason, then they started watching Olivia to make sure that the same thing didn't happen to her. And so it was almost like Aiden was protecting his sister, because everything happened to Aiden first. And then they kept an eye on Olivia, saying, all right, here it is. We got to make sure it doesn't happen to the twin. And I mean, there were times where they looked like they were doing great. And my wife and I would relax a little bit and take a break and go somewhere. And then 5 minutes later, we're getting a phone call saying, hey, it looks like they developed an infection. You need to come back and make sure everything's okay. And it's like every time you thought you were over the hurdle, you fell back.
He wasn't tan, he was gray. All around his eyes, his body was gray. And I just thought, oh my son is not gonna make it. And I lost it. That was the worst day. It's an incredible place. Of course, they took care of my babies, and my babies are doing great. Aiden has a little road to hoe because of his bleed on his brain. But he is all boy. I mean, it's throw me daddy, bounce me daddy. You know, I want to play rough and tumble.
Shortstop for the third baseman. And gets called around third base, and he is saved. Safe at home. Aiden's flying around the bases. He running second, coming to third.
He couldn't be a happier kid. He has the best laugh. You can make him crack up about the stupidest things, and it's so cool to be able to have that with him. But I mean, he plays baseball, which is just the coolest thing. You know, somebody helps him swing the bat, and then they run him around the bases, and he loves it. I mean, we leave our house and get on the highway. As soon as we get on the highway, he starts squealing with delight, and it goes till about South Saunders, and then he chills out a little bit, and when we get off at Carytown Boulevard to go to the field, he loses it again. I mean, just laughing and ready to jump out of his chair. He's so excited to play baseball. The kid just amazes me. I mean, it's just, a lot of people, I think, look at him, see him in a wheelchair and think, oh, he's, you know, not right upstairs. He doesn't think like everybody else. But the kid is so smart. The only thing we had to do with Olivia, she needed physical therapy, just because they were born at 26 weeks, so right. Everything hadn't developed the way it should. So she needed help walking and, you know, working on motor skills and stuff like that. But once she got the physical therapy she needed, I mean, you see her today, she's out on a soccer field running around kicking the ball and scoring goals, and you would have no idea that this child was born at 26 weeks and was 2 pounds when she was born. I mean, it's incredible. So I don't want people to think that it's a horrible thing that that's going on with our family. I mean, it's not. I know every year at Radiothon I bawl my eyes out, and I would think that after 13 years that I would move on and be able to talk about it without getting upset. But it's just, I think it's more tears of joy, you know, knowing what a life he has and how happy he is, and how well the sister's doing.
What is that? No.
What are we having for lunch? She's a teenager that doesn't want to be filmed. Don't put me on the camera.
You know, after being told that we wouldn't have kids and unless we had some help, and then we proved them wrong and had another baby. So.
Hello, Peyton.
Hello.
What are we having for breakfast?
Bagel.
Oh, what?
Bagel.
Is that a bagel? Really, it looks like an English muffin.
Something like that.
I think that's the thing that happens at Radiothon. It's like I tell the sad part of the story, and you never hear the happy part. You know, and it's not on purpose. It's just that, you know, by the time I get done telling the story, I'm exhausted, and so it just never gets to the point where I'm like, oh, hey, he's okay, everything's great. So it's just it's cool to have this venue to be able to tell a story.